Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so. And I hope that you're all super duper wow, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you oh so deliciously wherever you are. So what do we do? 15, 21, 26, 7, 3, 5. Okay, my delicious babies. So, lights on. Okay, my delicious babies, and I hope that you're all deliciously well wherever you are in the world, my little beautifuls. Now then, so the time is 3:45 p.m. in our old England, my delicious little babies, okay? There is a blue sky, but it is rather windy and it is rather cold. Okay, my delicious little babies. So that is the weather in our old England, my delicious little babies, and wherever you are in the world. I hope that yourselves are all having a super duper delicious time. Okay, and that the weather is beautiful for you all. Okay, so that's whether you're in old England or if you're somewhere else in the world. Now then, so I'm going to show you now. So I've got. Oh, look at this. My beautiful little flowers, look. My little flowers. Aren't they beautiful? Yes, they're really beautiful, aren't they? Okay, these are oh, look. Aren't they just so beautiful? They are off my beautiful little baby daughters and how I love them both so. Thank you so much, my beautiful little babies. Yes, I was bought some beautiful and delicious flowers this morning, my beautiful little babies out there, and I was bought a beautiful card from our beautiful little baby daughters for Mother's Day. So if you do happen to be a mother, okay, this is nothing against any dear ladies, dear women who have had problems conceiving, no, okay? I do not mean it that way, okay? But if you are a mum, and for our beautiful mama bears, and nana bears, and, and great nana bears, and, well, very happy Mother's Day. Okay, but yes, so look at my beautiful little flowers, and there we are. And I'm deliciously happy because everybody knows that I love my flowers. Okay, my delicious little babies. So yeah, because my other little flowers had, come to their end of their life, shall we say. Okay, it was well on the way out. So I just thought, and then of course I washed my vase, one of my vases, and yeah. And then I had a beautiful surprise. Isn't that beautiful, my delicious little babies? Yes. So I spent some time with one of my beautiful little baby daughters today because my other beautiful baby daughter, she's having to work, but she's very, well, they both are actually. They're both very work focused. Do you see what I mean? Okay. Anyway, my delicious little babies, but I just wanted to share my beautiful little flowers with you all. Okay. So happy Mother's Day to any mama bears out there. Okay. There we go. And nana bears, okay? Now then, my delicious little babies, okay? So, right, I have one piece of information, which is a video, my delicious little babies, but then I have something else to talk about as well, my delicious little babies, okay? Now, for some of you, you may know about this, but for others of you, you may not know about this, my delicious little babies, okay? So I'll talk about that shortly, okay, my delicious little babies. So this one here, this is on BitChute, my delicious little babies. I do mention, and with anybody not in that way, not in that way, I do mention, this uploader sometimes, bless, okay? And so search engine of your choice. World, I only mentioned him the other day as well to do with another video. World, capital, W, okay, no need to stumble there. Space, capital A, alternative, and then space, and capital M for media. So it's World Alternative Media, okay, with the spaces, then space bar, BitChute. Then you should have reached your destination, my delicious little babies. Now then, he's up to 37.8 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? And the video should read, this was uploaded, was it 17 hours ago now? Exposed farmer admits causes cancer. Massive cancer epidemic among young people. Okay, mardlistic babes, I do not like that word people because it's, sounds like people sheeple, but, I would prefer, maybe the younger generation or something. Do you understand what I mean? Mardlistic babies, okay? But anyway, this is what it says. And anyway, bless her, Josh, anyway, right? So I'll just repeat it again for you. Exposed farmer admits causes cancer. Massive cancer epidemic among young people. Mardlistic babies, okay? Yeah, so I'll tick that one off, yeah. What Josh is talking about now, mardlistic babies. Now, what it is, I have watched, I watched half of it, and this is a Japanese doctor, okay, and he was talking to Tucker Carlson, mardlistic babies, okay, and he was explaining, and he said that the youngest, he said he was very shocked, okay, that the youngest who he has met to have, was it pancreatic cancer, mardlistic babies, is 13. Okay, mardlistic babies, okay, which of course Josh is absolutely correct. Usually this type of thing now is found usually in the older generation, not in the younger generation, mardlistic babies, okay? So anyway, well, basically, the long and short of all this, you'd need to listen to the video, mardlistic babies, but I already knew about this because, like I said, I'd watched half of to do with that Japanese doctor talking to Tucker Carlson, okay, because I did watch half of the interview, mardlistic babies, okay? So, yeah, well, you see, everybody's, and there are still a lot now, and I do agree with Josh here, where what they're doing is, they're saying that it's got, come out of here or come out of there, okay? When usually they're just, the clicks are going up and they're getting more ka-ching, 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 for putting that out there, mardlistic babies. That doesn't mean no. So, the point of the matter is this, mardlistic babies, is that I'm pretty sure by now that they are many, okay? What's happened there? There was a big green thing then, like a circle, green thing. It was like massive, and then it's just gone off, mardlistic babies. And I've got another little green thing there. Okay, mardlicious little babies. This is a Samsung phone, mardlicious little babies, okay? Anyway, and I'm pretty sure that by now one's, sort of seeing, doesn't mean no, a large number of very poorly, young little bairns, shall we say, mardlicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay? But I shall not say anything more on that, mardlistic babies, okay? Because at the moment I feel like I'm being really boxed in, with YouTube and everything, mardlistic babies and what they're doing, okay? So, I'll give you the, as much information as I can, really, mardlistic babies. That's what I've done. Do you see what I mean, okay? So sad. But, can only hope that these little babies get better, but when they're given different information, mardlistic babies, well, anyway, I'm not going to say nothing more about that, mardlicious little babies. Let's just leave it there, shall we? But bless all of their dear little souls, and for anybody apart from the putrid who are pushing what they pushed, mardlicious little babies, okay? Now then, the final thing I'd like to talk about my delicious little babies. Sorry, this is called. Now, I've personally never heard of it. For some of you, my delicious little babies, you may have heard about this, but I personally have not. Okay, but this is called L, then P, then A. So L for Lima, P for Papa, A for Apple. My delicious little babies. Lasting power of attorney. Okay, my delicious little babies, yes, okay. Now this is 82 ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching squids, 82 quid, my delicious little babies, okay. And you do whilst, it's all right because I've had it wrote out for me. Do whilst P has capacity. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay. Right. Otherwise, because I'm reading from what somebody so very kindly, bless them, wrote down for me. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, because I asked them to do that for me. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay. So this may be useful information, my delicious little babies, for anybody who, you know, maybe would want to look more into something, my delicious little babies, yes. So yeah, do whilst P has capacity, okay. Otherwise, if P, in brackets, the client, okay, loses capacity and doesn't have an LPA, their family will be forced to get a, what's that say? A that's it. That's it. My delicious little babies will be forced to get a D ship. It's called a D for Delta, D ship. My delicious little babies to manage. I'm going to write down here. Deputy. Oh, D stands for deputy. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, deputy ship. Okay, my delicious little babies. I'll read it back all out again, okay, because this is the first time, because I had it to explain to myself, but then I asked, could they kindly write it down for myself? But I never read through it first, so we're doing this together, my delicious little babies, okay? We'll be forced to get a D ship to manage deputy ship, yes? P's property and financial affairs. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? P's report X1 per year to the office of the public guardian. Okay, now, who was talking to me about this? Bless the beautiful dear little souls, how of them so. Not in that way, not in that way. What this is about, because when they were talking to me, what they were saying is that you know, they're not sort of very comfortable, you know, with ones knowing, you know, that we are all their business. Do you see what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? If you get my gist. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Public guardian, yeah. Keeping bank statements, evidence of purchases, etc. That's what they were talking about, my delicious little babies, okay? They do not feel comfortable with somebody, there we are, knowing all of that information. You know, that should be private, there we are, for themselves. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Well, I totally agree with that. And I'm pretty sure, my delicious little babies, I'm pretty sure that you totally agree with that as well, my delicious little babies, okay? So, lack of capacities, examples. Okay, my delicious little babies. First one, dementia. Second one, these are examples, Down syndrome. Third one, accidents, e.g. brain damage, okay? So, basically, yeah, capacity assessment determines if a person, we don't like that word either, my delicious babies, okay, but anyway, it just says person, bless. if a person has capacity or not to make decisions. Okay, my delicious babies. Okay, so I will just read that out again for you. Okay, now that I know what I'm reading. Okay, my delicious babies. Okay, right. Al Pierre, lasting power of attorney, 82 Kaching. Do whilst P is has capacity. So in other words, this should be done before somebody, very sadly, for whatever reason, and there was examples there, before somebody loses, very sadly, their mind or their way of sparing thoughts, or there we are, or things like this now then. Yes, okay. Because basically it wouldn't be much use afterwards. Okay, my delicious little babies, very sadly, okay? So, do whilst P has capacity. Otherwise, if P, brackets client, loses capacity and doesn't have an LPA, their family will be forced to get a deputyship, which is, D-ship for short, to manage P's property and financial affairs. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So, just in that part there, my delicious little babies, do you see what I'm saying, okay? P's report X1 per year to the Office of the Public Guardian, keeping bank statements, evidence of purchases, etc. Lack of capacity examples, dementia, Down syndrome, accident, e.g. brain damage. Capacity assessment equals determines if a person has capacity or not to make decisions. Okay, my delicious little babies, now I'm going to close my book. Thank you. Thank you to who you are, who so very kindly told me. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to close my book, yeah. So, and that doesn't mean no. So, yeah. So, these are things that, maybe many would not know. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, so I just thought I'd mention it so that if somebody is not aware of this, because like I said, some will be delicious little babies and other delicious little babies will not be, okay? But for that fee, okay, and not only that, but it is for who pays it, it is better for their peace of mind as well. There we are, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, but it was very interesting, and it was interesting to hear about, because for myself personally, I have not heard of it. Okay, my delicious little babies, I've just not heard of it. So, so very interesting indeed, my delicious little babies, yeah. So, yeah, so we're seeing lots of different changes. My delicious little babies, changing the subject, that's going on in the world. Oh, one other thing I want to mention, my delicious little babies, which video did I hear that on? I forgot now. Oh, Josh does that as well. So there's another video, I think it's his latest one. What is it? Somebody had put, or I don't know, he's read, online, that, what is it, Mr. Putin in Russia, that apparently his, his limo, his limousine blew up, my delicious little babies. Well, me personally, I read some of the comments, okay? I only listened to a bit of it, okay, on World Alternative Media, okay? I was listening to this other one that I mentioned to you all, my delicious little babies. I mean, some of the comments are interesting, my delicious little babies, on BitChute, to do with World Alternative Media, okay? So you got like quite a bit of a mixed bag there, my delicious little babies. But for myself, what were they calling it? An assassination attempt, my delicious little babies. Well, to be honest with you, I very much doubt that that's the truth, my delicious little babies. And somebody put in one of the comments, my delicious little babies, on about the liver, right? Was it an EV? My delicious little babies, yes, okay. In other words, one of these, like Lego electric cars, my delicious little babies, that I personally cannot stand. You know what I mean? I certainly would never, ever, ever, ever want to be living next to somebody with either one of those Lego electric points or a Lego electric car, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. But it was just funny, the comment, my delicious little babies. But me personally, no, this is to myself, this is what I would call not looking into it, of course, because I haven't, really looked into it. But if I had to say, this is just, which I haven't, this is just another, piece of drama. There we are, my delicious little babies. You know what I mean? It's just to keep everybody chatting, about latest now then. But ones must remember, and I keep mentioning this, my delicious little babies, that you see, whilst that's going on, there we are. What else? There we are. Is going on somewhere else, and with these whatever they all call themselves, so-called leaders, running their countries, my delicious little babies. She said to me, you have to see, there we are, what is going on, okay? Because, for a start off, there seems to be rather a lot who happen to like Mr. Putin. So I don't know, is the story believable? Would you believe the story, my delicious babies? For myself, no. I'm not saying that that the limo, has not blown up. I'm not saying that, my delicious babies, because like I said, I haven't looked into it. It's just what I heard, just very quickly. Do you see what I mean? Okay. But for myself, no, I wouldn't have said that it was an assassination attempt. No. That's just my thoughts from the second that I heard. I just thought, but then when you scroll down and you look, you know what I mean? It is very interesting what some comments, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? What they said, is it an EV? That flipping cracked me up. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? Flipping hilarious. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. Because as we very well know, on a serious note, these Lego electric cars and vans and everything, okay, it's only a matter of time, isn't it? And plus the fact that there does not appear to be, I feel, much uptake for these my delicious little babies, okay? You see, like the massive companies like Amazon and different companies like that now, then they have these Lego electric cars, vans, sorry, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, it's mainly them, actually. And what's the other one now? Who has some? Is it DPD? I'm not like advertising them because I'm advertising them. I'm explaining that it's the larger, the colossal companies who seem to, have these Lego electric silly vehicles, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? Because as you and I fully well know, that, oil is everywhere, isn't it, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? So when they say, oh, by, what is it, 2050 or whatever the flipping silly number is, my delicious little babies, okay, that there's going to be, oh, pardon me, excuse me, sorry, sorry, no more, sorry, because I've not long had a sandwich, my delicious little babies. I have to be in the mood for a sandwich, but yeah, I had a lovely, delicious sandwich and my omelette. And then, of course, swilling it down with some grapefruit, orange juice, lemon, and ginger, my delicious little babies. So please and thank you. I'll just have a sip. So, I do not feel that many really want to have them. They much more prefer, there we are, they're brum-brums, the wheels, the petrol or diesel. But getting back to, is it 2050 silly business? There won't be no more oil. Well, it's a crock of shart. And believe it or not, I mean, there were some uploaders who were talking about this years back, and I was listening, And I did actually put in one, I can't remember what it's called now, but I did put it in one of the comments, okay? Only because, you know, I never said it nastily. I said it what I feel very politely, that we're not going to run out of oil at all. But even for one of these uploaders now, took it upon themselves to believe otherwise. You see, I would have just thought, there we are, that it was, there we are, damn well common sense, really, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? Just like when they keep saying that the sea's going to rise and all of these silly flipping crappy things now, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, if that's the case, and it's very true, it's all ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense, my delicious little babies. If the sea's going to rise and everything, then why these the rich now wanting to buy everything oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Well, they're all wanting to purchase properties on the beach, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? So, you know, is there something that they're not sharing with the rest of us, my delicious little babies? I'm just wondering, that's all. But it's the same with other things that, you know, that they say they're going to do, the predicted. All it is, they're trying to push ones, there we are, into a corner. As usual, my delicious, there we are. As usual, my delicious little babies, that's all that they're doing. Do you see what I mean? Okay, but you are going to get some. I spoke to one actually the other week, and they said, oh, in about 5 years' time, they're going to buy a Lego electric car. And I did ask the question. I said, well, what do you want to go and buy one of these Lego electric cars for? I said, so because we've always used petrol or diesel. Do you see what I mean? But this is the level, my delicious little babies. There we are. And we get back to it again. A brainwashing. Do you see? So they do not really fully look into something. No. And by the way, this was another one, very sadly, who had taken a couple of them, my delicious little babies. You see what I mean? Okay, so again, you know, no research, no looking into it, not weighing up the pros and cons. But yes, this is not the first I've heard that there isn't much of an uptake for these vehicles, my delicious little babies. And not only that, but if there was to go wrong in somewhere, well, they're colossal, you know, in price to there we are to repair, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? So really, I just do not see how ones would believe this bullshit, my delicious little babies, but they do. You see what I mean? So we get back to it again, don't we, my delicious little babies? Just believe all the bullshit, you know, whatever's put out there, then they believe it, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. But of course, you know, not being nasty when I say it, my delicious little babies, but some mothers, there we are, do have them. That's the old-fashioned saying, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. And when ones are trying to push something, in your birth race all the time, well, what's it telling you? It's telling you, there we are, something else. And then where are all of the cars, you know, because we've seen when they did that, what was it called? Was it in 2018? So, you know, that scrappage system. I've mentioned this before, my delicious little babies, kind all these cars have been gathered up in like, look like somewhere like out like an airport, you know, kind of thing. My delicious little babies, okay? And for most of them, would I say for most of them, I don't think they had the insides, like the engines and, you know, and things like that now then. Okay, so, you know, so in other words, nobody could steal one, rob one, you know, tea leaf one, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so what were they going to do with the metal? You know, what were they going to do with the car? You see, you have to ask these, there we are. You have to ask these questions, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. All that they're wanting to do is put their shitey Lego electric cars onto their populations, okay? But not mentioning to them as well how dangerous it is and that they could very well be sitting, you know, on a ticking time bomb with these damn flipping Lego electric cars. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, Kai? But ones, you know, but I don't know. For ones, very sadly, and that doesn't mean who are brain dead, I'm sorry to have to use those words, my delicious little babies, but that's what they are. There's nothing else you can call them other than brain dead. Do you know what I mean? Okay? And you try having a discussion with somebody who believes this bullshit. Honestly, they will tell you that the sky's all different colours. They'll tell you, do you understand what I mean? They just refuse to listen to another point of view. Do you see what I mean? Or say if somebody's got more knowledge on something, they refuse to listen, my delicious babies. That's what you're dealing with. The same when we was going through the, do you see what I mean? And even to this day, my delicious babies, I have still spoken to some, okay? They are utterly convinced. Utterly convinced. I've got to be honest, it infuriates me, my delicious babies, okay? That back what happened now was real. Absolutely, they're convinced. But you try telling somebody, they won't believe a word you say. They will have disagreements with you. They will argue with you. You know that you're wrong and they are correct. Well, for myself, my delicious little babies, okay, you only have to look at videos on BitChute, my delicious little babies, just to see the amount of damage that what was called safe and effective, my delicious little babies. Is that what it was called? Safe and effective. Yeah, okay. But for some, you know, I just feel that they just don't want to admit anyway that they've made a mistake. So instead of doing that, they would just disagree or argue with somebody else, you know, because they do not want to face, very sadly, so sad, being conned and duped. And that's the fact of the matter, my delicious little babies, okay? So, you know, and they're the same, very sadly, that, you know, it's something else, you know, that they're trying to roll out, my delicious little babies, right? That they'll believe the bullshit again, and then they'll go and take more. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? That's what you're dealing with. That's what I say. Some mothers do have them. Okay, so I'm not being nasty. I'm just done saying it. Simple things. Do you know what I mean? You cannot help these. Like I said, you cannot help them. So unfortunately, old-fashioned saying, my delicious little babies, there we are, they're going to get what the duck gives them, isn't it? Oh, and another dear lady who I said, you know, on one of my videos, who I've seen a dear elderly husband today, bless, you know, I gave him a hug, you know, not in that way, of course, because it's the first time I've seen him, because it's been 4 months now since his beautiful little dear wife passed away. She'd only had, what was it, this, that doesn't mean no, she only had a heart trouble, my delicious little babies, in the past 2 years, my delicious little babies. Before that, she was fine. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Do you see? So, yeah, so I gave him a hug to see how he was, but bless him, you know, and he started to get upset and, you know, to cry because, you know, I mean, look at that. Look how beautiful, you know, they were together, married and everything, 64 years. 64 years, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? So he's lost his, bless his beautiful dear little wife, the love of his life. He's lost his best friend. He's lost. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. And you can clearly see that he's not dealing with it very well. Not in the sense, you know, as how he dresses and everything, but it's just the sadness, the overwhelming sadness. My delicious little babies, do you see what I'm saying, okay? And he was explaining everything to me, and that his beautiful dear little wife was in hospital and everything, you know, and he explained it, that, you know, this is over a matter of 2 days. Okay, but he explained it, everything to me, everything that happened in hospital, you know, and everything. So, yeah, very sad. My delicious little babies, okay? So, yeah, there's nothing more I want to say. I would never have asked him if his beautiful dear little wife had taken anything, because I'm pretty sure, you know, because they were wearing, very sadly, around, you know, at the time, muzzles, the old masks, my delicious little babies, okay? So, but yeah, you know, she was always a fit, dear lady. As I always remembered her, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But then there was that decline, because I remember, yeah. And she was all of a sudden having health issues, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, but bless their beautiful, dear little hearts, you know. And, you know, he will get, I said to him, I said, well, you know where I am. And I said, so, you know, I said, if ever you need anything, do you know what I mean? Then just, you know, pop and knock my door. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, okay. And that's that really, my delicious little babies. But he just said that, because I said, I never knew. And he said, well, he only told, do you know what I mean? He said, then what he was hoping is that the word would get out. He says, because whoever he spoke to, he said he just started to well up and to cry, and he couldn't get his words out, do you see? So he said that was the only other way to do it, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? So that others would find out the sad news, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But bless him, bless his beautiful dear little wife and his dear little self, you know. But it's a long time to be together, isn't it, my delicious little babies? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so until my next video, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. And sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected. So, until my next video to you all, please continue to good vibrations. Okay, my little beautifuls and little lovelies that you all are. You are wonderful and delicious, and I love you all. Okay, so thank you so very much to anybody who even takes time to even look at my videos, to view them, or for any likes, or for the occasional comments. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And how I love you so. Take care. Love ya. Goodbye.